Hi, this is Garry from Next Actions. When trying to solve a problem, it often helps to look at it from different points of view. Often, this is done by having different people working on the problem at the same time. There is, however, an issue with this. Quite often, people in a group, they tend to think in a similar manner. This means you miss out on possible alternative solutions. And what if there isn't a group? So you have to try and work through and come up with a solution yourself. Join me to look at the 6 thinking hats technique and how you can use this to solve problems. The 6 thinking hats. This is a useful tool that you can use to look at things from a different perspective. I can hear yourself saying, well, what are these hats that he's going on about? They're not physical hats. It's more that they are 6 different ways of looking at the same problem. This was popularised in the 1980s when a book called The 6 Thinking Hats was released by Edward de Bono. Now it's not a thick book, it's only about 180 pages. The book was aimed at giving people different views of problems by wearing different hats to trigger different mindsets. Using the thinking hats, it can help you to run meetings without emotion or ego driving the decisions. Dig deeper into problems and solutions to really understand them. Identifying everything that you need to know to increase your productivity so you're no longer wasting time on unimportant things. Drive creativity, which in turn drives better solutions and decisions. And to organise everyone's thoughts and focus on one area at a time. De Bono, he identified 6 thinking hats. These are the white hat. This is focusing on facts and figures. The red hat, emotions and feelings. Black, for being cautious and careful. The yellow hat, this is about positivity. Green, that's for creative thinking. And blue, that's to control the process of your thinking. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about each of these. For a deeper understanding, I really do suggest get yourself a copy of the book. You can either buy it or maybe even lend it from a library. The idea of this technique is to allow you to look at a problem from different points of view. Each of these views has a specific focus, and you apply this focus to your thinking. If you've got some existing solutions, why not apply this method to them and let you look at the solutions from different angles? It gives you the chance to draw out issues or opportunities that you just wouldn't have noticed otherwise. As individuals, we each tend to have a preferred way of thinking. Some people, they're optimistic, but others, they're very much pessimistic. Some people, they love to react to everything, whereas others, they like to spend a long time thinking through things. They're all really good, but to get the fully thought through solution that you need, you need to step outside of your normal mode of thinking. And it's where the 6 hats, they really come into its own. When you've got a problem or a solution, you then step through each of the 6 hats, and the order you do them in, it's not too important. I will suggest one later on. The key, you must step through each of the steps before you finalise your solution. As we look at each of these hats, we'll work through an example. Whether you should recruit a new paid member of staff. You currently have 3 members of staff. Each of these is doing an additional 2 hours of overtime 3 days a week. They're also working for 4 hours every other Saturday morning. You've signed work for the next 6 months and it looks like this is going to continue. After that, you think the work may slow down a little bit, but then it will pick up again. As we work through these, I suggest you pause the video after I've introduced each hat. Spend a minute or two to think about the example and then jot down some thoughts about using that hat as your focus. Can you share your thoughts on these in the comments before we move on to the next hat? The white hat. It's about facts and figures. It's about looking at the information you already know and identifying other information that you think you may need. For our example, we know that over a month your current staff are working an extra 78 hours. If you were to take on another full-time person, you would get an additional 140 hours per month. You look at your financial forecasts. An extra person, it would reduce your profit margin by roughly 5%. But you're currently running with a margin of 25%, so it is something that you can afford. The red hat. Here, you're looking at feelings and using your gut instinct to look at the problem or the solution. With our example, you've got a good feeling that for the next 6 months everything will be fine and you'll be able to afford that additional person. But after that, well, they're not as clear. Your gut feel is that you will be signing more work before then, but you just don't know how much. You worry about your staff becoming overtired due to working all of the extra overtime. You also worry that some of them may leave because they're being overworked all the time. When you look at it using the red hat, you can see that there is a good enough reason to be optimistic. You also have a good feeling that you will have enough work coming in to support that extra person. The black hat. It's the hat that you use to judge the idea. With this one, you're being cautious. You're looking for any pitfalls that may occur. It's very much the pessimist's hat. With our example, here, we'd be looking, at what could go wrong. What if some of the work fell through? Could you still pay your staff? What if someone was late paying an invoice? What if the person you recruit was not a good fit for the team? Black hat thinking is where you would try and uncover all of the but if type thoughts. It's the one hat people tend to skip, and to be honest, it's the one hat that everybody should use. If you only use one of the hats, I highly recommend you always use the black hat. Look for the issues before they occur, then you can be prepared for them. The yellow hat. It's the hat of optimism. It's about seeing the positive side. It's the optimist's hat. In some respects, it's the exact opposite of the black hat. Using our example, when you use that yellow hat, you may come up with things like reducing the amount of overtime your team is working, spreading the workload out a bit to help the team out, having more available hours to add in new work, expanding your team and growing your business, having the opportunity to increase revenue by charging out that new person. The green hat. Here, you're trying to be creative with your thinking. You're looking at possibilities. You're looking at alternatives. You're trying to find new ideas that may help you to move forward. Again, with our example, you may think of things like, do you really need a full-time person? Can you use someone part-time? If the demand is cyclical, can you use someone on a casual basis? Can you contract out some of the work to another company? Is there work your current staff is doing that could be done by someone else? Maybe you could take on an admin person and reduce the amount of admin work they're doing. Here, you're really spreading your wings. You're trying to find the new idea that will allow you to push the solution forward. The blue hat. This hat, it's all about controlling the thinking process. Here, you're looking at how things are going to run. This, well, it's sort of like the admin that's associated with the thinking hats. Working through our example, we may come up with things like, if you're working in a group, assign each person in that group a specific hat, and then they have to apply it to everything that they say. You may set out an order that you want to apply the hats in. A good one that I recommend is you do the blue hat, then the white hat, red hat, green hat, yellow hat, black hat. You may also set a specific time limit for each hat. The thinking hats, it's a quick and easy way to push forward your problem solving. Have you ever found yourself using the thinking hats? Can you think of a problem that you can use this on now? If you have, please drop a comment below. If you liked this video, then please hit the like button. Do you know anyone who would benefit from this video? If you do, why not share it with them now? And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you get new videos as I release them. I've found that most people tend to use the yellow hat when they're problem solving. They identify solutions and then they only ever uncover the good points. They never bother to look at the negative. And then, when something goes wrong, well, they're shocked. They jump straight into further problem solving mode, and this leads to extra cost and extra time that could have been avoided by using the 6 thinking hats. To summarise, using the thinking hats, it can help you to run meetings without emotion or ego driving decisions, dig deeper into problems and solutions to really understand them, identify everything you need to know, which allows you to increase your productivity by not wasting time on unimportant things, drive creativity, which in turn drives better solutions and decisions. Finally, you can organise everyone's thoughts and you can focus on one area at a time. De Bono, he identified 6 thinking hats. These are the white, focusing on the facts and the figures, red on emotions and feelings, black for being cautious and careful, yellow for being positive and optimistic, green to trigger creative thinking, and blue for control of the thinking process. If you're having trouble identifying solutions to problems, then give me a call so we can discuss how I can help you. Together, we can apply the thinking hats so you can release the results you deserve. Please reach out to me on 0415 591 672. I'm based in Australia, so please use the international dialing code +61 if calling from another country. You can also email me on garry@nextactions.com.au or visit my website nextactions.com.au, where you'll find a link to book a free short introductory call. Do you have any topics that you'd like me to cover? If you do, please drop a comment below and I'll add it to the list of upcoming videos. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel so you get new videos as they're released. I'll talk to you again soon.